There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Namaste. Shalom. Salam. Assalamu alaikum. Blessings be upon you. Blessings in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, if you happen to be a fellow Christian. And good evening. Thanks for watching. A lot of things to talk about, and that's good because the name of the show is Something to Talk About. And some of you have watched for a long time, and I greatly appreciate those of you that are still watching, that have been watching since we started this a long while back. We kicked this off when the summer of George Floyd, the summer of Ahmaud Arbery, the summer of Breonna Taylor, and we had thousands of viewers on episodes, and a lot of that was when we were covering Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC and the Angry Viking. And speaking of Grandmaster Jay, there is going to be a fundraiser for Grandmaster Jay. For those that don't know, Grandmaster Jay is the leader of the NFAC. The NFAC was an all-black militia, and at one time it was the fourth largest militia in the United States, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, behind the Three Percenters, the Oath Keepers, and the Constitutional Sheriffs. The Proud Boys were new onto the scene back then, and we talked with we had Boogaloo members on here and Antifa, and we talked with everybody, and we learned a lot, and that's always the purpose of this show, is not to tell you what to think or how to think, but to encourage you to think and to give you things to think about. There's going to be a fundraiser coming up for Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay, again, the Supreme Commander of the NFAC, was arrested for an incident in Louisville, Kentucky, and questionable arrest to too many people. And he was brought to trial, and he was found guilty. Again, questionable to many people. And there's going to be a fundraiser. It's going to be in Washington, D.C., and I'll get some more information on it. And when I do, I'll be sure and pass it along. So without further ado, let's get into something to think about. Hello, Sissy. Ohana, and for some reason I cannot post a message in my own chat. I'm not sure what's up with that, and still haven't been able to figure that out. But I don't know if it's because well, anyway, we'll talk about that. We had an episode come on at noon today because there is a coronal mass ejection. Basically, it is filaments from the sun. It is actually plasma, a plasma storm, a plasma cloud heading towards Earth, and of radioactive and magnetic particles. It was produced yesterday, the 21st. Well, now it's 12:05 a.m. So officially 2 days ago. It was produced and expected to reach Earth in the early hours of July 23rd. So anytime now, we will be getting that coronal mass ejection that we talked about. And again, we said at noon. And if you haven't, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's just a brief 3-minute episode. It shows the ejection coming out from the sun and heading towards us. If you watch the program, we show the sun a lot. We talk a lot about the things we monitor. We keep you informed on on earthquakes, volcanoes, the magnetic poles, and of course CMEs. Now, if you are a sky watcher, this could be a very good night for you to get outside here in a couple of hours, as the chances of um, aurora borealis, the northern lights, expanding down into the some of the northern states in the United States. This is what's projected, and this is from about 24 hours ago, near Ely, Minnesota, and one more look in Hancock Township in Michigan. Now, the incoming mass coronal mass ejection is expected to be expected to have a major impact. There were flares. There were 12 C flares and B flares in the last 24 hours. Those will be accompanying CME, so it will be a little stronger than normal. The sun has 8 labeled active rings, 2 large coronal holes on the solar disk continue to face Earth. So we'll keep an eye on those things, because there could be more coming. And indeed, we're kind of expecting more to come, because the most active part of the sun in this particular cycle is about to be facing us, us meaning us here on Earth. So we shouldn't see any major impacts, because we know what CMEs can potentially do. You know, we've talked about that in past episodes. We shouldn't see anything tonight along those lines. However, do not be surprised if there are disruptions in satellite service, GPS, cell phones, possibly entertainment, satellite TV, communications and navigation. And at the moment, the geomagnetic activity is quiet. So again, nothing really to panic about, nothing really to worry about. It's just the potential for disruptions are there. And hopefully it'll be more of a nuisance than it will be a damaging event. And that's what we're expecting for the majority of areas. Of course, depending on where the Earth is in our rotation, when that CME hits us, if you happen to be on a continent that's facing that CME when it hits, you could have more of an impact than the rest of the Earth. It's, you know, just basic, I guess we call it space weather. So, and I want to touch on one other thing that I touched on last night. And again, I'm not, you know, I just want to bring this to people's attention that this is happening worldwide. There's a major protest going on in the Netherlands by the farmers over there over the use of nitrogen as a fertilizer. And they've cut back on the nitrate in order to cut pollution and pollution to waterways from runoffs. The farmers aren't happy about it over there. Of course, a lot of people aren't happy here in the United States, just over, I don't know what, freedom. You know, we talk about 1776 movement on here. We're going to talk about them again coming up in just a little bit. And I'm not saying that some of our freedoms aren't in danger, especially when you take into consideration, if you're a woman, you already know that your rights are being taken away, and it doesn't matter. You know, eventually we're going to all have to make a stand, if you will, potentially. Whether it be, anyway, that's a whole nother episode. So this is going to be going on tomorrow on Saturday, the 23rd, later on today now. And again, I just found out about this yesterday, so I'm not sure the impact that it's going to have. I'm just making you aware of it in case there are delays. It's supposed to be a slow roll kind of protest where truckers just get in lanes and slow everything down. And it's not just limited to truckers, but anyway, again, normally I find out about these things a little more in advance. So again, I'm not sure how organized this is going to be. It is going to be organized in Canada, and it is going to be organized in the Netherlands. And I just noticed the little thing up here. There's deafening media silence on global protests. And that's Sky News. That's Rupert Murdoch out of Australia. But I've got to agree with that. The media is not talking a lot about the protests that are going on around the world. Sri Lanka, their leader fled the country. They've been in turmoil for months. Italy, their prime minister resigned, and now their parliament has been dissolved. Israel's prime minister resigned. It's just India, Pakistan. There are Afghanistan. There are protests going on all over the world, and they're not being talked about them. And a lot of it is food related. So, we've talked about these things on here, and we'll continue to talk about them because we need to know as people, as citizens, as humanoids, and a lot of times, unless we learn on our own, we are not told. So, learning the truth is always a really good thing, in my opinion. And let's just see what's going on breaking news wise. Here are top stories. Steve Bannon found guilty of contempt related to January 6th. We'll talk about that coming up a little more. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, signs a California gun bill modeled after the Texas abortion law. Okay, that's a confusing headline to me, but that's from CNN. The Wall Street Journal, Eastern European countries clear the way for grain exports to resume amid fears of global food, I'm assuming food shortages or food catastrophe, because shortages are already here. New York Post, ex-president goes on social media site rant after the hearings. Blazing heat stretched from the desert southwest to the northeast, and Secret Service identified potential missing text messages on phones. The Secret Service has had quite a week, and again, just something to think about. I said we're going to talk more about Steve Bannon, and we're going to touch base on that as we go through real quick. Some more things to think about. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Bannon threatens January 6th committee staffers. This is one of our featured Twitter tweets of the night. The noose is tightening around some of these people, and sorry, I don't want messages. I don't want my profile either. Here we go. Thanks for watching. We're doing this live, obviously. So Steve Bannon talked to Tucker a little earlier tonight. Let's just hop in here and
6 staff right now.
See what he has to say. See how he is threatening, because somebody else said he was going to he was threatening pitchforks and torches to Capitol staffers.
Committee, and we have to have a real January 6th committee, including to get to the staffers now and see about the lies and misrepresentations they put on national television to defame people. I would tell the January 6th staff right now, preserve your documents, because there's going to be a real committee, and this is going to be backed by Republican grassroots voters and MAGA to say, we want to get to the bottom of this for the good of the nation. We have to know everything that went on, all the intelligence reports, exactly what went on, what was Ray's involvement, what was FBI asset involvement, committee. And we
okay, well, yeah. I'm not surprised. The tighter the ropes close around the group that was around the ex-president, and the more people that are getting implicated in for illegal activities, because it goes on daily. There are people that are still being arrested, still being outing themselves on social media. Actually, Sissy in our chat, and our mod and our contributor, Sissy actually sent me something about somebody from the 1776 that was part of the 1776 movement that was bragging about being at January 6th, and I forwarded that on. Also on Tucker, so Biden has COVID. Yesterday he told us he had cancer. Tomorrow it could be monkeypox. If you or someone you know has recently had unsafe sex with Joe Biden, Tucker. See, I know he's trying to be funny. I get that. But it just makes him despicable to because I'm going to let you know, I've got two sources, two dependable, reliable sources that tell me that Biden has been sick, and this is pre-COVID. Now that he's got COVID, it's worse, and he's been getting progressively worse. He's really sick, and this is unconfirmed, but I've got two. I mean, I've got two sources. I need three for confirmation of breaking news. That's just my personal rules. That's what I was taught in journalism, and I've got two sources that say he is very sick, and that Vice President Kamala Harris has been going through some briefings, a little more than just your regular briefing. She's been being brought up to speed, just in case he has to step down. So, have an unsafe, that this is the kind of stuff that you'd see in chat rooms. Media ought to be better. Media ought to be above this, but we know that's not the case. And it's not just Fox. It's MSNBC on the other side. So media ought to be better. I'm kind of glad they're not, because that means you guys come and watch this program, so you know what's really going on, and you get things to think about without political spins. Also, I was told today that President Zelensky of that Eastern European country, that if I say the name, it triggers the AI, and I'm automatically suppressed because of not going into standards. So I'm not going to say that name. And I said the word of the virus. I said the name of the virus, and I wasn't supposed to say that either. But so it doesn't matter, I guess. I was told earlier today that President Zelensky was in intensive care, that he had been poisoned. And I didn't do breaking news on it because I only had one source, and it wasn't really that reliable of a source. No offense if you happen to be watching. It's just, we don't have a long relationship. Let's just put it that way. But hackers had taken over 2 Ukrainian radio stations and put out that false information. Yesterday, a bill was narrowly passed in Congress. Now, this is going to be political because I really don't understand this. The bill was passed to guarantee birth control, guarantee the right for birth control pills and for condoms. And the vote is 194 Republicans voted no to birth control pills and to condoms. Only 8 Republicans in the House voted for it. Now, I understand. I understand. Republican Democrat differences, but common sense seems to have disappeared, and in both parties. But that's, again. Now, that's another episode in and of itself. I want to bring this up because I want to show this. This is what happened last night after the January 6th hearing. Okay. Now this is this is outside the Capitol last night after the hearing. Let me make sure we got volume.
Why were you there January 6th? You were not even on duty. Why were you there January 6th, Michael? You were not even on duty. Why do you report CNN now? Are you a real police officer?
Leave me alone, sir.
Are you disappointed that you're going to make men face years in jail because you drive?
Why do you have so many
Hey!
fucking kidding me? No, sir. Are you fucking kidding me? He just hit me with his club! You got it fucking coming, man.
Let's watch that one more time.
Why were you there January 6th? You were not.
Okay, this is a vlogger, a streamer, a gotcha kind of journalist, and I believe her name is Corinne. This is the police officer who has testified. I believe he now works for CNN. This guy right here is the guy that's going to get brutally attacked. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed there. You judge for yourself.
Not even on duty. Why were you there January 6th, Michael? You were not even on duty. Why do you report CNN now? Are you a real police officer?
Leave me alone, sir.
Are you disappointed that you're going to make men face years in jail because you drive?
Why do you have so many fucking kidding me? No, sir. Are you fucking kidding me?
You remember when I talk about the triangle of you create a problem, you blame somebody else, and you become the victim, and how often we see people do that? Just something to think about.
He's hit me with his club! You got it fucking coming, man.
The one guy says, he hit me with his pole, and the guy with the pole said, no, I didn't. And the other guy said, if he did, you had it coming. We have free speech, but it doesn't come without repercussions at times. You're free to say whatever you want. Doesn't mean it's not going to get you fired. Doesn't mean it's not going to get you arrested. And it doesn't mean it's not going to get you blocked from trying to impose your free speech onto another private citizen who just happens to be a police officer that was attacked on January 6th. Again, just something to think about. Now this one is it's just this was just too bizarre. And now this didn't happen recently. This happened what, 4 years ago. But seriously, you know, what's up with people? And I'm going to keep reminding you that the amount of ice that melted in Greenland between July 15th and 17th, 6 billion tons of water, it would have covered the entire state of West Virginia, what was melted in that short amount of time. Now, that melt off goes into the ocean. It's going to impact the currents. It's going to impact the jet stream potentially by it's going to potentially, if this keeps happening, it's going to be devastating. Okay. And yet in the West, there's no water. So we haven't done a very good job. And I was in an incredibly intelligent discussion earlier today at a site called Behind the Mirror. I've talked about it a few times, about how we need to come together as a human race, not only for peace amongst ourselves, but to really seriously preserve this planet, because it's the only one we got. And we talked about how, you know, there's as hard as Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and what's his name, Roger Branson, as hard as those three of the richest people in the world are really trying hard to get off the planet before something goes wrong and they find themselves dead. That should give us something to think about, that they're wanting to get off of here. And yeah, they use the guise of, oh, it's space travel, space entertainment. I really think they understand, and most governments understand, that we might have reached the point of irreversibility, and we may be coming to catastrophes. And if that is indeed the case, just as in the movie Don't Look Up, we're not going to know about it until it's upon us. So let's think. And we learn more when we think for ourselves than when we are taught. We talk about that a lot on here too. And the scientists, the climatologists, they're all incredibly worried about this. Is there anything we can do? Probably not. But we can be aware of it, and we can study it, and we can pressure the people that could be doing things about this. And eventually, one of two things is going to happen. Eventually, we are going to go to war with each other over any number of potential issues. or we're all going to come together and realize our power as people, and the absolute lack of power and audacity of those that claim leadership. Something to think about. All right. I said we're going to talk about the 1776ers again tonight. And I also showed you the guy that just got brutalized and just all but murdered. I'm sorry, I'm making fun of the guy. I shouldn't do that because that gives a slant. I apologize. But sometimes, things are so just absurd that it's hard to treat it with a straight face. Anyway, the guy we saw there, we're going to see here again in just a couple of minutes. But I just want to play just a few seconds here from one of the 1776 streamers. This is Wyckoff's America. We've had him on here before, and he's the one that did the lip sync to the song Poop in a Bucket, because these people are all living out here in their vehicles, and when the museums go down, they use buckets, and they empty the buckets. They have plastic bags in them, we assume, and they empty the buckets into the public trash cans in the morning, and then the trash pickup comes and empties those cans out. Yeah. But anyway, let's listen just a few minutes. The guy's name's Brian Wyckoff, and he's a pool cleaner in Florida by trade, but he's trying really, really hard to become a journalist. In this episode of his, he talks about joining the Live Streamers of America Union so he can get a media badge. Yeah.
National museums are free.
Okay.
Fred Norris, I guess I am.
Oh, you're not a
No,
too fast.
we're talking about support. The theme of support and rushing in to save is a whole other thing. I can't, if I carry people,
Okay, hold on a second. I thought I had the point. Maybe I'm a few seconds short here. I just want to show you that it's really all about money.
Or 24 hours for a scooter. So if we do it tonight, $16.99 for the scooters.
$17.99.
I looked at it.
You said earlier it was $17.99.
I said it was $17.
like the lime ones?
Yeah, the line.
Nice.
So basically, they're on here with the camera pointed at the people preparing to sleep on the mall or on Madison Avenue. On Madison Avenue beside the mall, and they're trying to get their viewers to donate enough money for them to get scooters and to go into museums. Now, all the museums on the mall are free. They're national museums. They're part of the Smithsonian Institute. But they're trying to get money for museums, for ice cream, and they even talk about poop buckets. But I'll let you go watch that for yourself if you so desire. I want to get up here to, and I haven't said hello to everybody, and I apologize. Hello to all of you in the chat. And let me get up here. Is this the spot? It's hard to tell because it's so dark.
I'm sorry. I'm only talking to chat. We're trying to do both.
Yeah, we'll do both. Liz Hammer, your butt hurt or what?
Yeah, and then she said something else up at the top.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but...
Okay. The guy, they beg for money from the people in their chat. And then when the people in their chat say, hey, why aren't you engaging with the chat? They're like, well, we got, I'd rather talk to this person who's sitting beside me. And the people in the chat are like, that's disrespectful. We're paying for you to be there. You should be engaging us. And it's just, okay, here we go. This is where I wanted to get to. This is the guy that we saw in the earlier clip that that was brutalized and crying and screaming outside the Capitol last night.
Like
look at Washington Post or find something about it.
Okay.
And
but that's the lie, though. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah,
so I want to know,
everything
like,
the Post does is a lie. So
right.
just kind of look at
He's got a cane.
they say. Their narrative is hecklers were protesting at.
Wait a second. Wait a minute. Okay, he was standing. Let's see. He was standing this way and fell that way on his left side, and the right half of his body. He fell on the left side. So the left side would be the side all messed up. And that's probably where you would need the cane. Just something to think about.
Mr. X.
Right.
I want to say his name.
Right.
The heck, there was arrests made.
That's
so
it.
It makes it sound like we heckled someone and got arrested, and really we were trying to interview.
You weren't trying to interview anybody. You were heckling.
And talk to
got
him.
assaulted.
Right. And it was all on camera too, right?
And police.
Okay.
Capitol Police and prosecuting you. So this man's going to end up, and me getting summoned to
okay,
the
cool.
United States Courthouse.
Cool. No, I just wanted you to like clarify, your side, but
Yeah,
if you
clarify. I mean,
no,
once I talk to a lawyer, he'll probably
yeah,
say you're golden, and I'll say everything.
yeah.
I just need
You gotta keep it real.
consult first.
Yeah, no, and that's real. That's real.
This is big stuff.
Because I wanted it, because if it's already out there of the drama, the BS, I wanted you to, clear that up.
Man,
You know what I mean?
crap.
Yeah. So we'll just wait, and then I want you to come back and say, hey.
Okay. I just wanted to show you that we've got evidence of this guy, and see, he's got his canes over here on the right. Doesn't look like there's any problem with balance or anything on the left side where he actually fell. And again, that's, just a little something to think about. Okay. I got one more thing to show you about the people we just saw, the Wyckoffs. But I want to hop up. Tammy Davis. Hi, Tammy. Hey, if you still have my phone number from the ERA days, text me. If not, send me an email, please. It's great to see you in here if you can. It's great to see you in here. Sibling party. Rastafari. I'm not sure what the Rastafarian word for peace is. Ganji, I guess. Sorry. Peace. Thank you, Sibling Party, for being here. I can't believe you made it live either. It's been a minute. So I'm glad I hopped over here into the chat. I can't post in chat. I'm gonna have to find out what's up with that. But anyway, thank you, Tammy, for being here. And thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. And I appreciate it. And if you're watching on the replay, you're not watching live, I've got to say hey to Pat Tolliver, because Pat said if he couldn't make the live, Pat would be watching the replay. I imagine Fred's probably watching on replay. So thank you to all of you, sincerely, no matter what platform you're on, whether you've been with us for years or whether this is your first time. We do things differently here, and just, again, giving you something to think about. And I got one more little thing here I want to show you about, just so you understand who the Wyckoffs really are. This is one of the tweets after they just arrived in back in Washington D.C. They had to go back to Florida and earn some money and take care of some responsibilities, and then they came back up to Washington D.C. And you know, nothing wrong with that. Grifting money off of people that can't afford it so you can travel. I don't know. There are a lot of channels that people beg for money to go to places so that other people can watch. Maybe I should have done that. You know, maybe I still should buy a small motorhome now that gas is like between $4 and $6 and probably never going to get lower. Buy a small motorhome and put Oakley and Doofus Cat in it and just say, where would you all like to go see? Let's take off. All you got to do is give me the money. Anyway, he says, you're a sad old hag. I don't see anything wrong with the post that you just put up in front of my kid who's almost 16 years old. I'm going to teach him right. And why are you wearing a mask in 90-degree weather outside, dumbass? Well, in Washington, D.C., we just mentioned earlier in the episode, just down a few blocks from where you're at, the president of the United States has COVID. Just about everybody in Congress has had COVID. People in the 1776 movement, if they don't have it, they sure have the symptoms. And it's, you know, at first it was, there's no such thing as COVID. And now Santa, David Rydell, their leader, is basically saying 6 feet, you know, social distancing, even outside, you know, whereas before he said, oh, you can't get outside, nothing to worry about. A guy came up to him the other night, he said, hey, I got a really bad headache. I'm starting to get a sore throat. And all of a sudden COVID's real. And there's several people within that movement that have the symptoms, if not the virus itself. And of course, none of them are vaccinated. None of them wear masks. They all ride in cars together. And we've heard some of them coughing online, and some of them have, you know, come out and said, hey, you know, I'm feeling, But anyway, let's just listen here to a quick 1 minute and 18 seconds.
The Wyckoffs have been in D.C. for just hours and already are raging at people on Twitter commenting on their stream. They're very angry. You might be wondering, well, what caused this anger? Well, you see, the Wyckoffs went and took their camera and faced someone who was wearing a mask walking by. And when they took the mask off, they proceeded to make fun of that person for wearing a mask and have their son join in. And people called them out for it. But of course, they can call out random strangers, but you can't call out the Wyckoffs, apparently. Because if you could call out the Wyckoffs, you might question this.
He's very committed to this character right now.
Masks are required, and everyone, and I do mean everyone, gets temp checked. Brian and Nikki used to do canned food donations, but this year...
Now, of course, 1776, they also have a big portion of the group that doesn't like LGBTQ.
Okay, just to be clear, the Wyckoffs have said that they wore the masks back then because they were forced to, not because of anything else. Just want to make that clear.
Few people views it as rumors.
And let me back up because I want to give Just a Lazy Gamer his full credit here for this story.
That doesn't like LGBTQ people, views it as rumors, doesn't want drag queens anywhere near kids. You've heard that talk, right? Well, you might be interested to see the Wyckoffs Haunted House. Most of our scare crew is part of the LGBTQ community and some of the best drag queens in the area. Why does it feel like the Wycogs are just a bunch of hypocrites to involve themselves in the 1776 Restoration movement? Maybe because they are.
And again, thanks to Just a Lazy Gamer for giving us that little shred of something to think about. And hop back over here. Yeah, Eric, how are you, man? It may drop by 30 cents. Then we're supposed to be so happy. Yay. Yeah, it's, I think it's like 4.59 here at the moment. And it got up to $5, and I don't think it got a lot past that. So it's dropped a little bit, but we know where it was back just a few months ago. And I don't know. Anyway, anybody have any questions or anything like that? Those that watch the show know I can't bring guests up on here at the moment due to my current double secret probation that I'm on. But I want to try to get some guests on. I've got some lined up, and I've got one guy that I've known for over 20 years. Really, really intelligent man. He graduated from Stanford University. He went, I think his grad school was at MIT or something, and just a really smart guy. That was actually he was actually an integral part of one of my early political campaigns. And he now lives on the East Coast, not far away from Washington, D.C. So I'm going to be bringing him on for his perspective on things going on out there. And again, just to kind of wrap things up with what we've been talking about, President Joe Biden could be seriously ill and may have to step away. And we could have the first female president of the United States in Vice President Kamala Harris. It won't be Donald Trump. Okay. I heard that today too. Well, as soon as, Biden's going to have to quit. If Biden quits, that means Trump's president. No, it doesn't at all. But, I'm not going to make fun of the person. I'm just going to hope that that people do understand that the president, if something happens, the vice president becomes president, and a new vice president is appointed. And in the meantime, if something happens to the president and the vice president, the Speaker of the House becomes president, which is Nancy Pelosi. So at the moment, Trump is nowhere in the mix. Now, if the Republicans take the House in this coming election, if Republicans have a majority in the House, then they pick who the Speaker is. And they are saying they're going to put Trump in as Speaker of the House and then impeach Biden and or Harris so Trump becomes president and before the end of this year. They're also saying that they're possibly going to do it by force if Trump gets indicted. So, some things to think about and some things possibly to prepare for. So what's my take on the 1776? I think the live streamers are grifting. It appears to be a cult. And I answer all questions, even if the question is, I don't know. Or even if the answer is, I don't know. I think the 1776 streamers are grifting. I think that there are people that are so desperate for answers that they will gravitate for anything, towards anything close to leader. And I think some of them are some of them are QAnon. So that's the cult part. Okay. Some of them are just good-hearted people that don't think they have anywhere else to put their energy. What percentages are each of these? I really don't know. But I think it's something else. I think it's what Santa David Riddell said from the start. It's a foothold. And I think he's down there to see how long they can stay down there, to see how many people they can get there at one time, and to try to hold that area until a massive amount of reinforcements comes in from all sides and they try to finish January 6th. I think that because of his Proud Boy affiliation. I hope I'm really wrong, but I think that's his plan. The rest of them, he does. I don't think he cares a lot about what happens to the women. I don't think he cares a lot about what happens to the kids. I think he is desperate for, lack of a better term, for warriors. And it doesn't matter. Trump said the same thing before January 6th. He didn't himself, but his people did. We don't care how extreme they are. We're willing to work with extremists. As a Proud Boy, you have to question whether Santa is an extremist, but he's so desperate for warriors that I think it's kind of, for those that have followed along, X-Ray is an extremist. X-Ray is a loose cannon. My opinion, X-Ray's possibly a candidate for the next Unabomber, but he's welcome there. People that have charges serve time for pedophilia are welcomed. He needs warriors, because I think his plan and what he's told everybody else are two different things. I don't think it's about handing out pamphlets. I don't think it's about, returning to the Constitution. I think it's about trying to put Trump back in office, and he's there in case they have to do it violently. That's just my opinion. So thanks for molten metal. Thank you, man. Or I'm assuming male, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Sibling Party. Sissy. Paw Patrol. BTM is watching. Hello, BTM, Behind the Mirror. Like I was talking earlier, had an excellent conversation with intelligent people at Behind the Mirror. If you've never gone there, check it out. There's some people that are conservative. There are some people that are extremely liberal. There's joking. There's there's the occasional dust up. It's like society. It is a good representation of society, and it's a good place to interact with people. The purpose of it is to show how people interact with each other and to try to learn how to do it better. And thank you all. Thank you all from Behind the Mirror that are over here watching. Greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate all of you being on here. Sissy, of course, as always. Sissy's our moderator, even though we really don't have moderators necessarily, because we have a really intelligent viewership, and I love that. Tammy, thank you, and please do get in touch with me. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I have. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got our sex spammers in here, our sex bots in here. Smoke Wagon, the Hunter Biden. You know what? I don't know how I missed that. Somehow my chat's not loading right, because I didn't see all these I didn't see all these before. The Hunter Biden. I've heard rumors that they are, I just mentioned that I mentioned I had two sources that President Biden's really sick. And I've also heard under the carpet rumors that they're really trying to get him to step down and to get him to step down sooner rather than later. And the sooner that he can do it, the better, because Hunter Biden's going to be indicted, and the Hunter Biden laptop thing. And if President Biden's not president anymore, the Hunter Biden laptop thing goes away. That's the thinking. That's not how it would work. But that's the thinking in some sectors of the Democratic Party. But yeah, smoke wagon. Media is hurting. Oh, I didn't say he lied. I said he was. I just said he was despicable. But he didn't lie. No. He might have lied, because I don't know if anyone wants to have unprotected sex with Joe Biden. That might have pushed it to the brink of just kidding around. Hot mess summer. Summer Dickerson, hot mess summer. Summer will probably be on shortly after we wrap up here in just a couple of minutes. And Summer, I'm just going to put this out here in public. There is, I think there's a thing on YouTube where we can connect, and as soon as my show ends, your show will pop up, or as soon as your show would end, my show would pop up after it. And if we can get the two of us working together and maybe get 4 or 5 other platforms together, we could create a network, and we could potentially up everybody's viewership, get sponsorship, and not have to worry about other things. Just something to think about, as we always do. Again, thank you everybody for watching. It's been a good chat. I think it's been a decent show, and I'm kind of pumped up a little bit about tomorrow. What tomorrow could bring. A lot of things could potentially happen tomorrow, and there's some rumblings that Israel, even though it is the Sabbath in Israel, a lot of Israelis aren't that religious or adherent to religious practices, and that there could be some action from Israel towards somebody tomorrow. We'll see if all that happens. Hopefully we survive the coronal mass ejection. There's no damages. There's no destruction. There's no even disruptions. Hopefully y'all in the north get to see some northern lights. So I'll be back. I probably will not be on tonight. I will probably later on tonight, being Saturday. Okay. Later on this morning, here in a couple hours, maybe even a half hour or so, you'll probably find me over in the chat at Behind the Mirror. So thank you all for watching, and blessings be upon each and every one of you. And remember, it's a dark, dark, dark world. Try to be a light. Spread some positivity. Spread some love. Spread some kindness. Be a kind person. We need more kindness. We need more respect. We need more trying to understand people instead of just judging and condemning. Unite. I love you all. It's a dark world. Be a light. Till next time, thank you for